right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Dense fog has us in a first weather alert through Thursday morning, where that dense fog drops the visibility to near zero.
Tonight, a 12-hour police standoff in downtown is over. New details on what led a man to hold a woman and 2 kids inside a hotel room. And a sigh of relief tonight for business owners in South St. Louis.
It's good that we can get one more person off the streets from throwing bricks.
The arrest of one suspected burglar police say is responsible for dozens of crimes. We start tonight in a weather alert. Dense fog continues to blanket the bi-state, making visibility difficult. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. We still have several hours before the fog burns off and more rain moves in. So let's get straight over to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with that Weather First forecast.
Well, we are talking about visibility problems, right? It's about travel. Later tonight through tomorrow morning, it's a problem. You can see, looking here from our camera by City Park, down back towards the arch, how the clouds just kind of settled right in over the city, dropping down. And when those clouds drop close to the ground, our visibilities tank. And we've seen that happen off and on throughout the night. And the greatest problem, of course, is with travel, and it's varying. Right now, Scott Air Force Base, we've seen that visibility jump around from 1/4 of a mile to 5 miles at times. So when you're driving along, all of a sudden your visibility just goes down to nothing, and you've got to slow down and take it easy. So this is going to continue to happen through the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. Travel concerns, that's the impact, because you'll run up on visibility dropping to 1/4, 1/8 of a mile, maybe close to zero. Use your low beam headlights, reduce your driving speed, give yourself some extra time. That's what it looks like in North County right now. Sure, we've got a couple of blocks visibility in Florissant at this hour, but that cloud's not far off the ground. That fog continues through tomorrow morning. Rain for Thursday, and again on Saturday. We'll talk about the sunshine returning next week in just a few minutes, Mike.
And remember, you can get the Weather First forecast anytime. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. We'll send it straight to your phone. Now to a developing story we've been following all day and evening. Just a few hours ago, a hostage situation at a downtown St. Louis hotel ended.
Police say a man took a woman and 2 children hostage early this morning at the Drury Plaza Hotel. That's located just steps away from the arch of the Gateway Arch. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend joins us live outside the hotel.
Kelly and Mike, tonight all is quiet outside this hotel and here in this downtown area, but hours ago the standoff shut down streets and no doubt gave a woman and her 2 children the scare of their lives. It started bright and early, just after 5 Wednesday morning in the heart of downtown St. Louis.
Our dispatch received a call from a child inside the Drury Inn Hotel.
The little boy told police he and his brother were locked in a hotel bathroom on the 2nd floor and a man was fighting with their mother. Police called the woman and man acquaintances.
The male then got on the phone and he stated that he was armed with a weapon.
Police officers and SWAT team members moved in, blocked off nearby streets, and surrounded the area near 4th and Broadway. Armed officers were on the ground and in the air in cherry pickers, keeping close eyes on every minute of the hostage situation. They say the suspect also had a gun.
We've been in contact with the male subject and are making every effort to bring the situation to a peaceful resolution. At this time, the incident is contained inside the hotel room.
Police evacuated nearby hotel rooms and said there was no threat to the public.
A little nervous, but I know the police are professionals. I hope they get their job done.
The clock kept ticking and the tense moments kept unfolding. About an hour after the hostage situation began, police say the man released the 6- and 8-year-old children.
They were in good hands after that with family.
Hours later,
Our negotiators were able to negotiate the safe release of the hostage at approximately 3:40 p.m. She's doing well. Everyone's doing well.
Finally, after nearly 12 hours, police say the man surrendered. They put him on a stretcher and rushed him to a hospital for a psychiatric evaluation.
Our negotiators are very well trained, and they got a good rapport with our suspect and then finally got a good outcome.
Police say the mom and her children are from the St. Louis area. They also tell us that they recovered a gun from that scene. Live downtown, I'm Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Take a look at this man. He's wanted for last week's shooting and police standoff in Glasgow Village. 21-year-old Anthony Hill Jr. is charged with assault first degree and armed criminal action. Last Thursday, SWAT team members stormed a home on Cameron Road after about an 8-hour standoff, but Hill was not inside. If you see him, you're asked to call police.
A man has been arrested in connection with break-ins at more than 16 different businesses, many of them in South St. Louis. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski talked with several managers who are so relieved this person is now behind bars. Laura.
Yeah, Kelly, and many of these businesses are family owned and were hit more than once. The most affected business was this Family Dollar here on Southwest, getting hit the most times.
St. Louis police announced Wednesday 38-year-old Timothy Watson was arrested last week and charged with more than 70 counts of burglary, stealing, and property damage, mainly to businesses in South St. Louis.
There was some type of pattern that investigators were able to pick up on that ultimately led to his identification in all of the incidents that we've been able to tie him to at this point.
Business owners and court documents say he was known for throwing a brick or large object through glass doors or windows, stealing cash, electronics, and products. But on several occasions, he wasn't even able to take anything. Uptown on Euclid was just one of a few Central West End businesses allegedly hit by Watson.
He broke in while people were still here. Luckily, we stopped him before he could get past the 2 double doors, but it's definitely, it was a scare, but nothing got stolen both times. It was kind of crazy. Just brick through the window,
Over the last 15 months, police say he hit 16 businesses and is suspected in 27 different incidents. The most recent string of break-ins were on Watson Road, including Series 6 and Pint Size Bakery and Coffee. Police also connected him to incidents in the Southwest Garden neighborhood, where he's accused of hitting the Family Dollar 8 different times, stealing mainly cigarettes. An employee there wanted to conceal his identity for safety reasons.
I am very relieved because we've had a lot of product taken out the store, as well as we've kind of had some issues with questioning safety measures because we had a lot of break-ins over the years.
Police say Watson has caused tens of thousands of dollars in property damage.
I know times are tough, but that's just not the way to go about, trying to take care of yourself and get what you need or get what you want. There are other ways out there to get yourself some help.
Now, police say Watson is likely connected to several other incidents in St. Louis County as well, and he is currently in jail being held without bond. Reporting live from St. Louis, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Tonight, Starbucks is responding to a wrongful termination lawsuit filed by a former St. Louis worker. 20-year-old Michael Harris restrained a would-be robber last month at the South Grand location near the SLU campus. He says weeks later, he was fired.
They didn't really give me a reason why I was terminated. They just told me I was, and I just had to accept it.
Statement to 5 on your side. Starbucks says all workers are expected to follow its policy and training on armed robberies. It reads in part of that training includes armed robbery scenarios where partners are asked to comply with demands and to avoid doing anything or saying anything that can escalate the situation.
Tonight, a new report shows a St. Louis nursing home endangered its residents after it abruptly closed last month. The report from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services found the 47 of 174 residents moved from Northview Village were unaccounted for. It also shows the owners decided not to cover payroll on the day it closed the facility. Those workers still have not been paid. Congresswoman Cori Bush is calling for a federal investigation. Tonight, Missouri Governor Mike Parson is calling for higher pay for teachers and state workers.
He delivered his final State of the State address today. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, went to Jefferson City, where Parson's speech was met with some applause and some pushback.
The state of our state is stronger than it has ever been.
Governor Mike Parson said he'll leave the governor's office in better shape than the one he inherited.
We close the chapter on scandal and begin a new direction.
In his final year in office, Parson endorsed an idea that has long languished on the Democratic wish list.
Our state is in a critical need of quality early learning programs.
Minority Leader Crystal Quaid issued the Democratic response.
We want to see bills on these issues hit the governor's desk, and we'll do our part to make that happen.
Parsons celebrated Republican wins, too.
We have fought the fight for life and reduced the number of abortions in our state from 8,000 annually to 0.
That's where Quaid noticed something missing from the speech.
The Republican push around going after the initiative petition. One person, one vote. If we're going to talk about people first, then they should have a voice at the ballot box.
As abortion advocates campaign to legalize abortion, some Republicans are rushing to rewrite the rules to make that harder in an election year where some of Parsons' picks will be on the ballot, too. Parson used his platform to promote his picks for top jobs like Attorney General Andrew Bailey, St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore, and Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe, who's running to replace him.
And in November, change is coming.
Quaid wants to be governor, too, and said if Democrats were in charge,
we could eliminate the grocery tax to help struggling families. We could help small businesses expand and thrive. We could take rural hospitals off the endangered species list.
Parson delivered that speech in the House, but now it's on to the long slog in the Senate, where his calls to raise teacher pay and expand child care face steep odds of survival when so many senators see their final year as a launch pad to higher office. Reporting in Jefferson City, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
Parson also endorsed a push to pass tougher criminal penalties for anyone who exposed kids to fentanyl.
From prisoner to proprietor.
Work hard every day. Make sure you get up and go out and grind.
The local program helping former offenders with a business plan to become leaders of the community. She needed an OB but had to settle for a QT. The labor emergency and icy conditions when baby told mom to get your skates on.
Fortunately, no ice here now, but that fog is awfully thick for many folks. Weather First weather alert continues as the fog is expected to slow your Thursday morning commute. Plus, when the sun finally pops from behind the clouds.
A former St. Louis County police officer accused of opening fire at a school trunk or treat event in Kirkwood is out of jail tonight. Matthew McCullough was released today on a $25,000 bond. As a condition of his release, McCullough must undergo inpatient treatment at Center Point Hospital. He'll also be undergoing GPS monitoring. Right now, people who have been released for jail or prison are getting the tools they need to become entrepreneurs.
It is thanks to a new program from the St. Louis County Library. As Brent Solomon joins us to explain, tonight was the culmination of the 6-month experience.
That's right. You know, one of the biggest challenges for many people who go to jail or prison is to steer clear of the challenges that landed them behind bars in the first place. To keep them from going back and to set them on a path to be self-sufficient, the library is answering the call. When you do the crime, you do the time. But what happens after the fact?
60 to 64% of people that are released do not find work after they get released. And that's not unemployment, that's joblessness, which means they're actively looking for work and having a hard time finding a job.
It's why Megan Pfeiffer Davis with the St. Louis County Library takes her role seriously.
I can help them with that resume and their cover letter and interview prep, but I can't change a company's policies of whether or not they'll take somebody with a background check. But I can help them start a business.
If he sells 3 items,
you're looking at what's called the Small Business Launchpad. The library started it back in August to give 11 previous offenders an opportunity to learn what it takes to own their own businesses.
Like a business plan, talking about funding, talking about barriers and fears we might have, and then the legal aspects.
28-year-old Matthew Palmer is front and center.
I mean, it was my first time getting in trouble.
Out of custody on a felony brandishing charge, he's ready to look ahead. With an auto detail and service business, he calls it squeaky clean STL.
I could pull up to somebody's job, their home, or anything like that, and perform a full service in their driveway, whether it be an oil change, interior detail, or exterior car wash.
For him, it's about bouncing back and being an example for his 3-year-old daughter.
Having a program like this and the support specifically will keep people from recidivizing.
Right now, organizers are planning a competition so that participants can pitch their business plans. The St. Louis County Library Foundation is accepting donations that could potentially reward the best pitch. If you'd like to donate, just mention the Small Business Launchpad.
All right, thank you, Brent. New information tonight on those cinnamon applesauce pouches contaminated with lead. A new FDA report says the Austro Food manufacturing facility in Ecuador did not test or sample any of the finished products. Last month, an FDA official told Politico the contamination may have been done on purpose. More than 400 illnesses have been linked to the tainted pouches, which were sold under the Schnucks, Wanabana, and Wise brands.
Tonight, federal officials have approved an inspection and maintenance process to get Boeing 737 MAX 9 jets back in the air. Planes have been grounded since a door plane blew off during an Alaska Airlines flight earlier this month. The move comes just hours after Boeing's CEO met with senators on Capitol Hill.
We fly safe planes. We don't put airplanes in the air that we don't have 100% confidence in.
Tomorrow, Boeing will stop work for one day at its factory in Washington State where the MAX 9 jets are built. Workers will undergo more training on quality control. Amazon is no longer sharing video from its popular Ring cameras with police. Up until now, agencies could directly request the video from users through the Neighbors app. Now they must submit a formal legal request with the company. Privacy advocates call it a victory for civil liberties.
Well, many stop at a quick trip to fill up their tank, grab a drink, or use the restroom. But one Oklahoma couple stopped there to welcome their bundle of joy. This happened Sunday during the height of an ice storm. The couple started driving to the hospital, but the roads were so icy, they pulled into a QT and called 911. But the roads were too treacherous, even for paramedics. A 911 operator walked the couple through it all, and their son was born right there in the parking lot.
My wife and I both tag teamed it. She was able to help me a little bit as I was had my fingers in between the neck and the cord. And baby was breathing fine, crying.
For giving birth in a Quick Trip parking lot, it honestly went real smoothly. I never would have thought.
Mom and baby are happy and healthy.
Well, they have a story that they can tell for years
and
years.
Rowan will hear that a lot.
Yeah. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell loves Quick Trip, and he joins us now with that weather first forecast.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think for the birthday present, you know, the kids got to go to QT and get an ice cream cone.
There you go.
On Sunday, every time. All right, tonight, if you're traveling, maybe you're going to be heading out to get some gas on the way to work early tomorrow morning. Give yourself a little extra time. This has just been fascinating to watch tonight as the fog's just been kind of hovering around the St. Louis area, coming and going. The base of the clouds lifting up and down. When it comes down, it's your cloud at the ground and your visibility goes way down, so it can go to near zero quickly. Dense fog advisory for the entire area tonight. At least temperatures are above freezing, so we're still in the lower 40s. Today we had a boundary that was just southeast of St. Louis, kind of sagged a little farther south and east, but there for a while we were in the 50s just across the river at Scott Air Force Base and down towards Farmington. Looked like 56 for the high. It's 36 right now up there in Kirksville. Half-mile visibility there. Officially at Lambert, coming in with a quarter of a mile. But as you drive around, you may have good visibility for a bit, and then you run into that area where the visibility goes to near zero and does so very carefully. Kind of an eerie scene with the fog in and across the area. This is up in North St. Louis, Charlac, North St. Louis County. Crystal sharing that photo with the 5 on Your Side Weather Watchers, part of our Facebook group. Look how extensive the fog is. Fog advisory all the way to Cincinnati, all the way to Cleveland, up to Chicago, heading up towards the Quad Cities, all of Iowa, back into Kansas and heading to the south. And then we get into that heavier rain, and it's a flood threat that's across much of the deep south. That's where the really heavy rain has been. Our rain has been very beneficial. Many of us have seen 1 to 2 inches over the last few days, and it looks like tomorrow we get another quarter to a half, maybe even 3/4 of an inch as this area works its way to the northeast out of Oklahoma and Texas and Arkansas. Tomorrow morning, like tonight, it's foggy, maybe some mist around, but not a lot of rain. As we head towards lunchtime, that shield of rain slides in, spreads across the region. Again, maybe a couple of downpours early tomorrow afternoon. Then it moves out during the evening rush hour. Temperatures stay in the 40s tomorrow. We go into Friday. Guess what? Gray skies, probably have some fog around, at least in patches on Friday morning. We stick with the clouds, but we'll stay dry during the day on Friday while we await, you guessed it, yet another system down to our southwest. That's going to bring more rain for part of the weekend. But part of this 10-day forecast you're going to like. We stay in our weather alert through tomorrow. At least I think you'll like it. You stay in the weather alert through tomorrow. Yeah, just the sun is part of it.
Yeah.
But
Just
you
the
got
fact you have it on the graphic. Is
yeah,
nice.
well, yeah, because we haven't seen much of it. So 40s tomorrow, foggy, murky in the morning, then the rain during the afternoon. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, temperatures go up.
Yes.
And we have the sun back in here. And just
I mean,
seeing
it's
the sun
basically
will
going to
begin.
be 60 degrees warmer than it was just a few days ago.
Yeah.
That is true.
It's going to be incredible. Way to end
It'll
January,
be nice
start
to
February.
see the sun again.
Yes.
Thanks,
All
Scott.
right. Sports is next.
This is not the year to be a college basketball fan in the state of Missouri. I will explain. City SC is losing a player, and the Chargers are getting a coach.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
There is nothing more I would like in life than for SLU to be really good in basketball. Started keeping stats for them on radio at age 14. But in this brutal season, the Billikens had one of their low moments of the year, getting blown out in their building by Davidson. All Travis Ford and the Billikens had to do tonight was beat a Davidson team, which was 1-4 in the A-10, just like they were. And the first half wasn't bad. Kellen Thames, the pride of Pattonville, gets the bucket and one, SLU by 3 at the intermission. And then they started throwing it away there in the second half. They missed their first 12 three-pointers, so when Sincere Parker hit this one, I guess it was time to celebrate. Davidson really shoots it well. David Skogman will pop a 3. The Bills were outscored by 26 in the second half, and they lose 84-81. Brad Underwood beat Northwestern by 30 points about 3 weeks ago. You want to see a confident player? This is Marcus Damask. He'll go behind the back. He had 22 points tonight. However, Northwestern won the game in overtime. The final was 96-91. So when you play on back-to-back nights in different cities in the NHL in less than 24 hours, it's a tall task. Well, tonight it's Robert Wadlow tall because the Blues were playing at Vancouver, where the Canucks rarely lose and have been the best team in hockey. But the Blues were not intimidated. Check out the patience and the vision Robert Thomas delivers to Jake Neighbors, and it's 1-0 Blues. And these two were glad they made the trip. And remember that power play that used to struggle? How about this? Neighbors, Pavel Buchnevich, holy cow, it's 2-0 Blues right now in the second period. So it's been 33 years since the Detroit Lions played in an NFC Championship game. Now they're back, just a game away from the Super Bowl. 3 St. Louis area natives have helped fuel this dream season. One of them is Ladue native punter Jack Fox. He's become one of the most dependable punters in the NFL. But that doesn't mean his family doesn't get nervous every time he's called on to kick.
Depending on where he's punting from, there's a lot of eyes on him, and it does kind of, you know, it stresses us out a little bit, to tell you the truth. But it's been so much fun, and Detroit has been such a great town for him. The fans are just remarkable.
It's official. Jim Harbaugh is leaving Michigan to coach the Chargers. He won the title in Ann Arbor, and before that, he took the 49ers to the Super Bowl. He gets to coach a great talent at quarterback in Justin Herbert, and he doesn't have to deal with the NCAA anymore. Arrivederci, Nico Gioacchini. The transfer became official today. The City SC forward will be playing for the Italian second division club Como this season. Terms not disclosed, but reports are the team could get $2 million in a transfer fee. Nico tied for the team lead in goals with 10. He grew up in Italy. I guess he preferred their spaghetti carbonara. Sunday night will be a special one for Sports Plus. The incredible story of a woman who would not allow long-term COVID to squelch her running dreams, and will have 90 years of experience on the pit, with Kevin Wheeler and Randy Carricker joining me live in studio. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back after this.
A small St. Louis eatery tops Yelp's top 100 places to eat list. Menya Rui ranks second nationwide. The ramen restaurant on Southampton opened in 2022 and serves more than 200 bowls a day. Last year, Food and Wine magazine named Chef Steve Pursley as the best new chef in America.
White Castle will once again transform its restaurants into Love Castle this Valentine's Day. But this year, the fast food chain is offering at-home love kits. It includes 12 sliders, pickles, Craventine cards, and a White Castle scented candle to set the ambience. The kits cost $50 on White Castle's website.
Wait, the candle smells like
I guess like
It sure
burgers
does.
and onions, I would guess.
Speaking from experience.
Yes, well, yeah. I mean, it comes out every year.
Love is always in the air at your house.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so we do have the dense fog around St. Louis tonight. It comes and goes. Be prepared tomorrow morning to give yourself a few extra minutes just on the drive because you could run into that fog where the visibility drops down and you got to slow way down. So outside of that, rain coming in here by lunchtime tomorrow, and next week warmer and brighter.
That's good. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.